Steeves, Managing Editor at TMC here at IT Expo Las Vegas 2013. Joining me now is Dave Gilbert. He's the big cheese at Simple Signal. Dave, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Yeah, it's fun to be here.
Great, and I love your title, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, you know what, the thing that's fun about that title is that it opens doors. It allows people to remember who we are, because most of us at Simple Signal have some sort of an interesting title, but yeah, there's lots of CEOs, lots of founders, but very few people running around with the big cheese.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's start there. For those of us that might not know about Simple Signal, tell us a little bit about what you're all about.
Okay, so Simple Signal started in 2004, so we've been doing this for a while. It's been really fun to move with this industry as it's moved completely into the cloud, at least for us and for a lot of communication companies. And from there we can develop on the API. So in other words, we look a lot more like software than we do traditional telco.
Absolutely. So let's dive a little bit deeper then. What makes Simple Signal different from some of the other companies in the space?
So we like to say that we sell a solution and not just a product. We're not necessarily all about voice, or we're not necessarily all about conferencing, or you list the particular product. Instead, what we do is we tie it all together to create an overall strategy for a business that truly changes the way that business works. And so it makes it move better, it ties it all together, and simply gives the solution that that company really needs to make it communicate and collaborate more clearly and more unified.
And you've got Simple in the name of the company, so it says it right there. Absolutely.
That's right.
So you and I think we're having an interesting conversation before we got started about MSPs and about the future there. I would love to hear your thoughts on that, because those are pretty provocative.
Yeah, that's who's coming to this show, is the managed service provider, the traditional telco agent, and there's a big difference between those two. Typically, the telco agent really understands telco, and they're great at sales, and they've been doing this for decades. On the other hand, the MSP is great at the tech stuff and just managing services, break, fix, those kinds of things, but they're new to telco. So truly what we're seeing is some sort of a merge that can happen there, because basically if you distill it down, the telco guy is the sales guy and the MSP is the geek, and really they don't know how to sell as well as the telco guy, so they can simply leverage each other's strengths, because the telco guy really doesn't understand software, really doesn't understand how to sell an application or necessarily create an overall strategy, where that comes very natural to a managed service provider. So really, we're watching this happen here at this show. And not only that, but we have to understand that the old way of selling this technology, let's call it telco, is truly over. Really, this is all moving in a new and exciting direction, and we get to be part of it. And so I commend those who have come to the show to learn more about emerging technologies, things like WebRTC, things like VAS, which is what we're working with, video as a service, so that you don't have to make this big capital outlay to be successful at video, but instead we're now able to sell it one license at a time into an enterprise. Even the smallest enterprise can now enjoy the value of video and then the business changing effects of that. And so we're really excited to be here and simply talk about that.
Yeah, it's an exciting time both technologically and as the business model starts to evolve.
Yes, yes. And you know, I've heard this really great illustration about a burning platform. And what I mean by that, this guy was on this oil derrick that caught on fire.
Okay.
So he had to either decide to jump 50 feet into the ice cold North Sea, or he was going to stay there and basically burn up. And he jumped. When they fished him out, they asked him, "Why did you jump?" And he said, "I chose probable death over certain death." And I think that the guys who are stuck in the old ways of selling telco or managing services are truly on burning platforms, and they're not going to jump unless they feel the heat. But I think this year was one of those watershed years where people really got it. They really felt that heat. And now they're coming to IT Expo to say, what do I do? How do I change? How do I make my business really ready for the changes that are coming up? And where are those changes? What do I need to be aware of? What's going to affect me in 2 or 3 years? Because things are changing so rapidly in the communication space. But that's what makes it really fun and creates phenomenal opportunity.
I love that image. I'm going to use that in one of my articles coming up, I think, the burning
Cool.
platform.
Yeah.
So for people who might be interested in learning more about Simple Signal, about what you do, where can we find you?
You could simply email Dave at Simple Signal. You can go to our website at simplesignal.com, and you can just find the numbers there and call us.
Great.
So we have lots of ways you can contact us.
Perfect. Dave, thank you for your time.
Thank you.